All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of the Evolutionary Instinct Podcast. I'm here with my co host, Felipe Daza. Brother, introduce the topic for today's podcast episode, and let's get started.
Yeah, today's a good one. Really good one. I mean, every time's a good one. But today we're going to talk about fear and specifically how fear has, in a sense, poisoned you, your mind, your spirit, your soul, and hold you back. And you might not even be aware of it. And you have it deep inside of you. And maybe it's hidden in all this comfort that you're living right now. And I want to start with this quote that says, fear doesn't stop death, it stops life.
Powerful. That's very powerful. I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
Fear.
I really like it because it's like no matter what, it kind of speaks like no matter what, things are gonna come to an ending, right?
Yes.
But how are you gonna live life now? Are you gonna let your little fears stop you from living now? And you're gonna go high and you're comfortable, maybe is that you want a better social life, but you're so scared to talking to new people that you become delusional and tell yourself, nah, I'm just not a bar kind of guy. I just don't like
Hmm.
going out socializing. I just like to stay in and play video games and which is totally fine, but like we deep inside, you want to make more friends. You want to have a cooler, better social life. Who doesn't? If it was given to you like this, you wouldn't say no, right? So definitely you have some fear deep inside of that. Maybe you're not even aware. Maybe you have, in a sense, become delusional and told yourself this lie that no, it's not that you're not scared. It's just that you'd rather do something else. When in reality, it's really fear and has poisoned you in a way that it like you're scared. And when you go out, it makes you sick. Like maybe you go out to, a social environment and you want to socialize, but like it just drains you and like you feel like vomiting. You're like, oh, I can't. I like you want to talk, but like you just for some reasons like this thing deep inside of you that's just holding you back. And it's that poison, it's fear. And it's that and it becomes so powerful, so poisonous that it becomes this voice, literally this voice in your head that like talks you out of doing things like maybe starting a business, maybe going to the gym and looking better, maybe talking to that girl, right? Like you already like deny yourself a chance of something better because of something that you have poisoned yourself with because of maybe something that that happened to you in your early childhood, which is very important to like just let go. I think one of the reasons I've never really been stopped by fear. Of course, I've had fear, right? I'm human. We're all human. We've gone through fears. But, like, for example, me, I came to a whole new country where I, didn't speak this language and I had to talk to a lot of people. I'm just generally a social
So
guy.
did I.
New
Yeah.
friends. Imagine you don't know how to speak English. Like, what are these kids going to say? Make fun of me, bully me, whatever. That never,
Yeah.
never crossed my mind because and it's tough because like you base a lot of these things based on your past experiences, but you got to just let them go because if you didn't have them, you would be fearless. In a
Hmm.
Because when I came to the new country, right, I just talked to everyone because in my head, I just assumed everyone's gonna be my friend. I didn't have that fear built inside of me. That voice, my voice was like, "Oh, is that guy gonna be my friend? Oh, that guy's gonna be my friend." Like I was just like, I assumed this
Yeah.
positive thing, right? I have like this assertiveness. I was like, which we were actually, we were just actually watching, talking about the honey badger. Which what I like about the honey badger is that thing's like so small, but it's like fearless in a sense.
Vicious, bro. The honey
Dude,
badger is vicious.
and you know what I was thinking? People are missing that. Like a lot of people's like, how to stop being the nice guy? It's like be more like the honey badger. Like you're missing that, like
Yeah.
that fishiness in you. Like you can sense it in your tonality and the way you move when you
Yeah.
talk to people, and you sound kind of like you're not even sure of who you are.
For the record, the honey badger I think has the Guinness World Record for like being the most fearless animal. Like
Bro,
the honey badger doesn't back down. You know what I mean? Like it'll fight to the death kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's videos of the honey badger like taking on like four female lions. They're like swiping it like one smack. The honey badger flies, but it attacks. It's like what the fuck is this little thing? Why is it so vicious? All of a sudden, like the lion gets close and like bites the lion's nose and shit. And like it has this ability to like move under its skin. So as they try to like bite it, it like moves and like bites them back. And like it ended up fighting off like four lions and surviving four fucking lions, right? And the honey badger eats cobras, bro.
dude.
It eats cobras and it eats fucking scorpions and shit. Like it has anti-venom and shit inside of him, right? So the honey badger is such a sick animal. And I love studying animals in National Geographic documentaries because every animal has almost its own unique power, right? But if we tap into the power of the honey badger, you tap into this fearlessness. That's what we're talking about here. You see? And this poison of fear really like prevents you from accomplishing and being all that you can be, right? Off camera, we were also watching a video. A lot of you might have seen the movie called Apocalypto. There's a famous scene in the movie Apocalypto, directed by Mel Gibson. Okay, fantastic movie, one of my favorite movie of all time. And like there's a scene of the tribal chief coming back after they had an interaction with another tribe. They made a trade happen, but that other tribe was attacked somewhere far or whatever, right? And they were really like traumatized or like afraid, right? But these guys were a bunch of warriors and they weren't afraid, right? But like one of them noticed how afraid they were. And as they came back, the tribal chief said to his son in that case, right, which is also like, an adult warrior, right, up and coming, said to him, "My son, did you see what was in their eyes? Fear, it had poisoned them. And fear, if you let it, is going to crawl into your skin, it's going to crawl into your soul, and it's going to like poison you, right? And it's like, don't, and I can see it, it has tainted you already. You see? Don't let fear consume you. Okay? Don't bring that fear into our village. Leave it. You see? And there was a really powerful scene in that movie that went over this, right? And there's a lot of great examples of that. But what's some of your thoughts on that, Felipe?
Yeah, no, it's very true. It's like you can definitely taint yourself every day with fear. And I feel like a lot of people do. And eventually it's like, what I'm saying, that fear, like what do you do with it, right? Like how do you deal and sit with that fear? Is it gonna poison you, or do you kind of like let it out of you? What I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people sit with it. And like I say, they sit with it, and in order to, medicate it, they maybe like do things like they bring comfort, right? Like they go back into like, maybe their bed, they will sleep all day, or you know,
Distractions
lots
and
of distraction
scrolling.
to avoid that feeling, but it's deep. It's still in there. It's still in there, and it's gonna come back. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's always gonna be there. But like you should act as if like I know there's a quote that goes like, I don't know if it's exactly like this, but it's like, how would you act if you knew you couldn't fucking lose?
Hmm.
It's like, how can you program
Yeah.
yourself every day so you think like that? Like, but don't just think, but like feel it, like genuinely feel it, like you can't lose.
Yeah.
Right? You find it like defining what a win is for you,
Hmm.
right? Like redefining your wins every single day and winning, and tell yourself you're a winner, and like, eliminating this fear that's really not you. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yep.
that's stopping you from doing many things, from living the life that you want. And it's like, we can get very specific, but I know like maybe if someone right now is like a scare of like, going out there, like I've seen it every day, or like talking to that one girl, which, fear also gets you stuck on that one girl that you wanted to work out so bad. You're like, for some reason, you're so stuck on her. It's like, dude, there's so many options out there, so many
One-itis. Yeah.
people, right? And you get this one-itis out of fear too, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
because you're right, like you don't want to
What if
like,
she doesn't like me? What if I lose her? What if I don't find a girl as great as her?
what
Bro,
if
the
no one else
universe is
loves me?
abundant. There's no fucking scarcity, right? So like really recognize like the opportunities are out there. And actually, on that note, fear, Felipe, right? It can almost be used as a compass, right? A compass to know where you need to go to reach growth, to evolve. Expansion is how we evolve our consciousness. Expansion is how we become better, is how we can become more complex, right? And there's a couple different notes on that, but the main one that I wanted to really emphasize on, and this came, from the energy, okay? The energy, let's just say the energy, which stands for rebellion against limitation, okay? And this here is a personal realization, a message that I received internally, and I wanted to share this with you guys so it can help you guys as well, okay? Because it's right on this topic of fear. And that is, every man knows what he wants, but what he wants makes him doubt himself. And this is the reason why he wants it. Your life must be structured only chasing what makes you doubt yourself, because that is what you need and want. Therefore, your mind can be organized much easier than before. Every day, chase the things that make you feel insecure and have them by the end of the day. That will make you grow. You see, that is a powerful message, okay, that I wanted to leave behind here, which, I want to get your thoughts on, but really that just goes to say these things that you feel this resistance towards, go do that thing. You see, like you're never gonna regret having gone to the gym. Once you're in the gym, you're gonna be like, fuck, like I got a good pump in, I feel great now, right? I'm like, man, I'm glad I made it. You're never gonna like regret having made an approach, okay, and it actually having gone well. The only way the interaction is gonna go well is if you make the approach, right? You might get rejected. Big deal. You see, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. A year from now, you're not gonna remember this. It's not that big of a deal. You're gonna survive. You're gonna live, right? But if you never make that approach, you never know what could have happened. If you never called that customer, you never know, what could have come of it, right? Maybe your competitor calls it before you, and boom, now they're with your competitor. So what are you going to do now, right? You got to seize the opportunities as they come. And I feel fear is one of those things that stops many people. And it truly is a poison because it kills all that you can be. You see, Felipe?
Oh, yes. And like I said, this is why I brought up like redefining your wins and understanding what a win is. Because, it definitely, part of like getting rid of that fear is definitely has to do with like building enough, references for your brain to be like, oh, there's nothing I have to fear, right? Because that fear also is really, biologically, it's meant to keep you safe, which, it's good that we have it, but there's times for like this fear, and most of the time for most people, right? Like there's just fear is just putting limitations on things that you should be able to do. So really finding a win is a really great way to remove that, limitations, like play to win. Like ask yourself, are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? Because that's a huge difference. A lot of people are playing not to lose. So when you go and do that approach to that girl, or maybe you try to, make that business, you're kind of like, it's like you have one foot in on the brake and one foot on the gas.
Well said.
You can sense it and you can feel it. It's like it's not,
Yeah.
it's like on a whole different level, and it's not allowing you to move. It's like you're kind of moving, but you rather not move completely forward because you're scared of what's gonna happen. It's like just move forward. You know what I'm saying? Just plunge in. This is why I think like things like cold plunge are really good. Like it teaches you how to stay present to the moment. Just like take a deep breath. Like you're okay. Like be okay of whatever's gonna happen. Right? That's part of growing spiritual. It's like go through it. Like honestly, like getting rejected is gonna be a great thing because it's gonna actually help you grow spiritually, like huge. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna wake up and understand, wow, I'm human, and it's gonna help you grow and understand yourself. And maybe you approach the girl and ask yourself, why do I think that girl not liking me is a lose? No, why am I scared of that being a lose? Why is that even a lose? Like, and I think it also has to be a lack of self-love. Like love yourself, know your worth, right? And maybe that girl rejected you. Okay, maybe you still won. The win was that that she didn't waste your time, or the win was that you approached her. You were a fucking man. You are the shit. Most men wouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually value yourself. Don't fear anything. And I don't know why, like a lot of people like choose to kind of like disempower themselves. Like, no, I can't do that. Or this, like, have you even tried? And no, I don't even like the word trying. It's like how you even like do it. Like fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? I as much as I can, I always like whenever I hear someone saying try, it's like, no, you're not gonna try, you're gonna do it. And see, like that's kind of like honey badger attitude. Like, no, you're gonna do it. Like, we're not trying. Like, we're just gonna do it. I have this like kind of like attitude. Like, I've heard so many women say like they want a man who's like kind of like funny and like sassy in a way, and like that snaps back at them. And it's like that honey badger attitude. It's like what? What are you gonna do? Huh? It's like you literally feel it's like, oh shit. It's like kind of like the lion. It's kind of like you said, like the lions, like they bit
Yeah.
lions. Not like you fucking kill the lions, not, but like the lions are literally confused. The lions are like expecting this little thing to like
Run
be.
away, give up. But no, this thing fights back.
It's
Exactly.
like what? And the lions are like, whoa,
Yeah.
wait a minute, wait.
And it's like, listen, like I can take this thing on, but like it's not worth getting bit for. You
Yeah,
see?
it's like
Like
I don't
I'll
know.
kill
No,
it, but I might get stabbed. I might fucking lose an eye. I might get bit or something. So
no,
like there's a
honestly, bro, the honey badger might own it so much that the lioness might think it might die to it. It might be like, wait a minute, is this thing might
it's
kill me?
just vicious. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I saw the lions, it's like, okay, like what the fuck? It's like it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? I can go hunt something else that's not gonna bite me back like this one is, right? But lions, I mean, they're quite fearless too. But like, it just it's unnormal in nature where like a small little animal is like so vicious and it's fighting back like this, right? It's very, very interesting. It's against something so big, right? Most animals back down, but the honey badger like comes at you, and I love that attitude. You see, we're talking about the honey badger because it literally is the most fearless animal. You see, it doesn't back down from anything. Okay. Now, here's the thing. When we look at life, you have to understand fear is one of those things that's always going to exist. But if you're going to live in fear, you're going to be like a prey. You see, if you look at the animal kingdom, you're literally acting like a prey. You're jittery, you're scared, you're anxious, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Think about like those like little birds, little fucking squirrels. There's certain animals that are like so jittery because they're worried they're gonna get eaten all of a sudden. The gazelle, it's like this, they're super alert, but they're not calm the way a predator is calm, the way a lion walks through the fucking jungle, the way a tiger walks through the jungle, the way a bear moves, the way an elephant moves, a rhino moves, right? These big animals, they know they're big, and the other animals know, and they know they're dangerous, and so they carry a certain calmness to them as they move. They're not afraid, and if things were to happen, they're gonna fight. Like I saw a really dope video of again, this like of a jaguar. I don't know if you've seen it. Like it's a jaguar going to the water. It's like drinking water, and the alligator comes at it, right? And it like bites the jaguar, and you think it's gonna get the jaguar, but the jaguar fights back and it ends up under the water. It ends up killing the alligator and coming out with the alligator in its mouth, right? And it's like, fuck yeah. It's like the thing that's like it's not afraid. It knows there might be alligators there, but fuck it. If it comes, I'm gonna fucking fight it too, and I'm gonna eat it. You're gonna be my lunch. You think I'm your lunch? You're my lunch now. You know? That's so dope when you see these animals go like that. It's like there's an admiration. You can tap into that, the spirit of that animal, and bring it into your life, and bring it into the way you approach your work, bring it into the way you approach conquering your fears, hitting the gym, approaching the girl, fucking conquering your fears, right? Animals are very interesting because you can draw power from them when you tap into them, right? And if we look at the animal kingdom and we look at, civilized society, right? It very much is a concrete jungle. As civilized as we think everyone are, laws are holding things in place and whatnot, but the world is not safe. All kinds of fucked up shit happens. Women are not safe walking alone at night. If you're a little bitch and you're soft and you carry yourself like a prey, you are a target. You see, like gangsters and like some of the conversations all kinds of documentaries I've seen, right? They avoid guys that look like, okay, this guy's gonna put up a fight. This guy's not worth it. Like for me, for example, like yeah, sure, I could get jumped by like 8 guys, but I'll like fucking stab a couple of them. You might get me in the end, but you're gonna get stabbed in the process. Like, is that worth it? Is that worth it? In the process of me defending myself, I'm gonna seriously fuck up one of you guys. You know what I mean? Like I'll take an eye out if I'm gonna die. It's just not worth it. And that energy, that viciousness is so powerful that it's just like nature responds to it. You see, that's why, like when, for example, when like a big caribou comes at you or a big fucking or a coyote's jumping at you, you say people guess like make yourself big, right? It's like right? Be willing to fight because the animal feels your energy. It's like fuck, okay, I'm gonna stop, right? There's videos, bro. I gotta show you this. There's videos of a fucking like I think these were like Australian Aborigines or one Aboriginal tribe or something, right? One of these native tribes that are in the desert. They're hunting fucking like they're hiding some gazelle and they go steal food from the lions. The lions hunted a gazelle and they come like a hookah with a fucking spear. They make themselves look big. It's like three giant cats. They're pissed, but like they back off with this thing coming. It's right? They take the food from the lion and the lion's like pissed. It wants to come, but like it backs off. It backs up and they steal the food from the lion. Okay. That you have to see. Like, let's fucking watch that, if anything. But again, that goes to show you this power of the vicious energy, right? Nature responds to it, and people respond to it as well. There's an energetic thing that's at play here, guys. So fuck it. Like, I'm just inspired to like show you guys
It's like
this.
it's like being unapologetic for what you want. Like just go get what you want.
Exactly.
Sometimes I know guys approach that girl and it's like they can kind of feel like the guy's like not even sure. It's like, hey, I have a penis.
Yeah, yeah. So hold on. Aboriginal
Hey, I should be talking
tribe.
to you. And it's like you can just feel it on the energy.
Yeah, man, I think it's this one. Man versus, oh yeah, it's stealing lion's food. Yeah, there it is. It's a very quick one. Oh wait, this isn't the right one. Is it? Can you hear the sound? Yeah? Okay, check this out. Fucking lions, bro. Timing.
Rakita's plan is audacious and simple.
Fine, all his
I'll watch.
3 men on foot will intimidate a pride of hungry lions and push them off their kill.
They're hungry too.
Projecting an air of self-confidence is key.
Everything.
And then, the first retreat, followed by more.
You're going into it, you see?
Rakita knows he doesn't have much time before the lions call his bluff and come back to investigate.
Nature calls your bluff too.
It only takes him a few seconds to carve off a wildebeest haunch.
The meatiest part. Not crazy? Alright? So anything is fucking possible, right? But you have to not be afraid. To not have fear in your heart, right? You can steal fucking food from lions, if any, even. Like, there's people doing that, right? So now you think you can't approach a fucking girl? What the fuck, bro? You know what I mean? There's a lot of like power in overcoming your fears, obviously, right? Now this attitude, the predator's attitude is like that wasn't a good like the predator in this case, the human being is the most dangerous predator on planet Earth, okay? If we don't talk about more advanced beings on Earth and consider the human being as the most advanced fucking, being on Earth, then yes, it is it's the most dangerous one, right? Now after that, there's all these other animals. Now when you approach life, right now we come to civilized times, 80% of men are pussies, right? They're soft, right? There are dominant men in the world still, right? But there's a mass feminization that's occurred and it's been going on, right? But now I'm seeing more men beginning to wake up, and that's what excites me, right? There are men that wake up and they realize their true power, their true essence, and they don't apologize for it, and they begin to see, holy shit, I'm capable of so much. I can work so long. I can work out so many days. I can fucking, work for so many hours and accomplish so many goals in a single day, right? You begin to tap into your true power. I can get with so many women. So many women are attracted to me, right? I can attract my dream partner. I have 10 different women that I can make my dream. I can choose whatever the fuck I want, right? But that's when you've awakened your evolutionary instincts. This instinct, which is the animal side, and that spiritual side of you that sees no limits, that wants to be more, right? And that's what we're all about, guys. It's about awakening that primal side and that higher, what's it called? The higher version of you, the higher self. Yeah, and strengthening it because there's a part of you that really seeks to absolutely crush all limits, to become more. That is almost, you could say, in some ways, I'm going to get a little philosophical here, right? But it is in many ways Lucifer's rebellion against limitation. Why go? It's like, don't go to the tree of knowledge, right? It's funny, I was called the tree of knowledge. Like, I'm giving a different perception on this, like a different angle on this, right? I'm buying on people think I'm a devil worshiper and shit. I'm not a fucking devil worshiper. I don't worship no man, no fucking God above me, no devil under me. Fuck all that, right? My perception, my understanding is the highest version of me that is my God. Because if you come to a truly enlightened perspective and go real out there, you see God is in everything. And at the highest version, there is an aspect of you, not my ego self, not Aidin, but that which is behind it all. That same intelligence that permeates through all living beings, right? There's a mass intelligence, and that I'm humble to. So, yes, I do believe in God. I am connected to God, right? But I don't worship a sky daddy. I don't worship no fucking devil. Definitely no devil. No, definitely no fucking sky daddy, right? I am my own God, and I tap in, and in deep meditation, I become connected with this this unified field that permeates existence, and I'm humbled, and I feel deep sense of compassion for all other beings, and that's what the Buddhas and what's what you begin to also experience when you get into deeper and deeper states of meditation. That's another thing, right? But again, I'm talking about the animal side and the God side that we all have within us. All of us do, right? Do you have any thoughts on that, Felipe?
Yeah. I mean, dude, with the higher stuff, like very important to tap into that. It's like, and that's like that flow state that, people talk about when, you go out and you just have that great night and you're just like, wow. And I think this is why a lot of people like, drink when they go out. It's like to get rid of that fear, but like, it's not good just because like, it definitely impairs your thinking and your actions, even if it's slight and very like, like you might not think it does, but it really does. You don't think it's clear, but it does get rid of this fear, which is why like alcohol can be a booster to get you into that flow state, but it's like it's better when you can do it sober, and it's very addictive, right? It's very addictive to have a great night, and like you're just sharing, and everything you're saying is a golden nugget. You tap into that with you have no fear, like that, dude. That's so addictive. And when you get into that, you just want to go out and talk to people, and like you literally can't help it, but like you're like overflowing, like that's got like this higher self of you is like just like so filled with like amazingness that you have no fear, no like all this poison in you that you generally go wherever you out in this in the grocery store, you out, at an event, maybe you just went outside and you saw your neighbor, you just want to talk. You're like, hey, how's it going? Like you just generally want to share things. You don't have these, limitations that are stopping you because of fear. And I get it. It can be hard because like maybe you go out and like you're just so overwhelmed with like the thought and like the feeling. Like it generally like takes control of you. And it's kind of like gross. Like I feel like that. Sometimes I feel like that too. And it's like, ugh, it's like I just want to throw it all up. Like then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like throw up. But I think one of the things you have to do is like focus on the now, focus on the action itself. Don't focus on the thinking, and also understand like you need to, in a way, like fears and emotion. Sometimes you can't, think yourself out of it. You have to just act yourself out of it to create a new emotion, right? Like you have to, create a new emotion to get rid of that fear that overpowers, that overflows it out of you, And so through acting, you go approach the girl. You also give yourself self love and stuff like that. Like you tell yourself, for example, that you're awesome and everything, and that's okay. And you go talk to that girl and rejects you, you're okay with it. So you kind of sit with it. You kind of like let it sit with you. You're like, oh, you kind of maybe go at first like, oh, it kind of feels ugly, but you're like, you realize that you're okay with it. You're like, don't tense, just breathe through. Like, oh, you're fine. And it's like, what you realize, like those words, whatever, like it doesn't even matter. And like you come with
Mm-hmm.
like you're just like, maybe you even play with it, like it's playful, and you don't really care. And that's how you become like that guy who just has like that edge to you. Like you don't really care about things, right? Just
Yeah,
kind of like
absolutely.
playful to you. You're just like, yeah, that's fine. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And your true authenticity shines, right? Like, for example, me and Justin Mark, we run boot camps, every year, multiple times throughout the year. And one of the most beautiful moments in boot camp is on the third or fourth day when the guys are gone out, they've taken action, they've talked to women, they're dressed better now. We've coached them through that. We taught them the mindset communication skill. And then there's a brief moment that happens where you see that person's swagger come out. Each person has their own there's a swagger that each guy has, and that's your authentic self. That's your charm. It's your authentic, unique charm. And when their true voice begins to come out, it's one of the most beautiful moments because you see them no longer pushing the gas and pedal at once. You see them push the gas and not self-sabotage. They're going all out and they're saying, "Holy shit, I'm actually very social. I'm actually charismatic. I can make girls laugh. I can make women feel good. I can truly connect with another person." You see, and have these incredible experiences, right? From a fucking soul connection, from a physical level, from an emotional level, right? But that will only happen if you approach your fears and you don't let shit get in your way, right?
With fear, literally, like I'm telling you, like fear like talks to you to like telling you that you're this person. Like I hate when people are like, no, I'm just not this person who does. Like, no, you love being like you would love to be social. You just have a lot of fear, right? Like
Exactly.
if you could just go out and everyone loved you, you would love it, right? But when you go out, you don't have that experience. Of course, you're not gonna love it. You're filled with fear and terrible experiences that tell you, hey, you should stay at home and not go through that, that terrifying feeling that you have created. And now you stay home and then you become antisocial, or you start becoming weird and disengaged from life because you just rather like feel safe. It's like where's the life in there? Where's the day? Like life, you know what I'm saying? Like if we went back to when we were cavemen, like there was danger. Like you could go out the day of today trying to go hunt food and die. But you
Yeah.
did it anyways, right? It was in your nature, but you've like people have like lost that because of fear. They don't go for what they want.
And life is comfortable, and you're no longer forced to go out and hunt for food. You know what I mean? At least back then they were forced, so they had to do it. Now it's like fucking like everything's so easy, right? You like we have to force ourselves to become uncomfortable in order to grow, right? There's this diagram that I have on my phone here. I want to share here with you guys, right? It says hard decisions, okay, leads to an easy fucking what is it? Hard decisions, easy life. Easy decisions, right?
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Fucking
this.
right there. Easy decisions, hard life. You guys see that? Right? So make the hard decisions so you can have an easy life later on, but make the easy decisions now and have a hard fucking life ahead of you. Right? And that's the power of Stoicism. Stoicism is sacrificing the pleasures and the indulgence of today for a better tomorrow. Right? I don't think Stoicism is about completely avoiding pleasure. It's about understanding balance. It's about understanding moderation. It's about understanding temperance, courage, justice, virtue, right? These principles that we live by as men. And some of the greatest men that have walked earth have carried, the Stoic philosophy or elements of it very strongly, right? And that's why a lot of what we talk about in evolutionary instinct and the evolutionary instinct philosophy has stoicism in it because it is literally the most masculine philosophy that exists. And it is what will empower you to become greater as a man. It is the mental technology, the mental tools that's going to allow you to deal with your problems better, right? We've gone like there are stoic sayings like memento mori, right? Remember you will die. I have this tattooed on me, right? A lot of the Stoic teachings I got from my IMC Nation brothers. I got from a lot of the like-minded brothers that I've had in this lifetime that we've exchanged ideas, we've worked hard, we've collaborated, right? And we've learned and we've grown together. And so by saying that, I'm literally just saying make the hard decisions now so you can have an easier life later. Stoicism is going to empower you beyond anything you can imagine. So, you know, at the end of the day, we are the ideas we hold inside, if you really think about it, right? Like if you hold fear internally, your aura, your body language is going to reflect it, right? As a fucking man, you're not supposed to be afraid. Like fear is a natural fucking response of the physical body because it wants to live, right? It is a healthy mechanism in the body that allows you to survive, right? Now, we're not living in those conditions where we're being chased by a fucking tiger. So this approaching a girl sometimes creates that same level of intense fear for some guys, right? Now it's okay to feel fear. Every motherfucker is gonna feel approach anxiety, but are you gonna let it consume you, or are you gonna feel it and approach anyways and forget about it, right? The second you take action, the present moment, right, is gonna bring you so much experiences right then and there. That's you're gonna come out of your head, right? And the best way to come out of your head is to come right here and to observe the person you're speaking to, whether it's a client, whether it's a woman, whether it's, a fucking ally, a brother, whatever, right? Being in the moment will prevent you from being in your head. How do you bring them up? Bring your attention here. Pay attention to the person, pay attention to the facial expressions, smile, listen to what they're saying, right? Bring your attention on the girl it's in front of you, and that will, get you out of your own head. Stop worrying about what to say after she's done talking. Just be. After she's done talking, all kinds of things are going to come to you. But if you find yourself, oh, I'm running out of things to say, I don't know what to say, it's because you're too much in your head. You're replaying certain thoughts in your head. Oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know. No, no, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Okay? Like you got to pay attention to the communication line you have with yourself, right? that communication line that we have with ourselves is very important, right? So what are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself positive affirmations, or are you telling yourself negative affirmations? And that's the sneaky thing, because we think we're that the thoughts in our head, that voice, we think that's us, right? But that's not us. That's just a thought that's on repeat, right? And that thought, that identity that you live is a combination of everything you've experienced up until now. Now, you can instantly change your experience and change your identity, right? We're not stuck because the only constant in the universe is change, right?
I love how you say that. Like, it's like fear, dude. Like when I think about fear, because I just like to look back in my life and all the times that I've been fearful, how it has affected me. You know what I'm saying? Like it really, it's a powerful thing. I mean, I still remember when like I was scared of the dark. Like generally, I was I mean, man, terrified of the dark. And like now I can sleep with the lights off, and I'm just like, oh, like why was I? I look back at those times. I'm like, why was I so afraid? And it's like, it's literally like this thing in your mind that you created, and it's kind of, and I get it. For a lot of times, it's like a safety thing your brain does. Say, biological. We discussed that, but at the same time, realize it's kind of like this like selfish thing. Like so, let go of this fear. Like you want that person to like you and love you and whatever. Then be that confident, confident, charming person that they want you to be. They don't want you to be like this scary cat. No one wants you to be this scary cat. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at you and like, oh, I hope he's a little scary cat. No, when you go approach that person, remember this. I think it's really powerful and this helps me a lot. It's like when you approach that girl or you approach, whoever, maybe a new client, or you're trying to do something and maybe it's a guy, a new friend you're trying to make. When you come up to them, like, oh, who's this guy? Like they're hoping deep inside, honest, they're hoping that you're awesome, that you're cool to talk to, that you
Yeah.
bring good energy. So remember that. Like assume, in a way to fight fears, like be a little, like remember those things and like be a little delusional. Like, yeah, people just like me, right?
Exactly.
Like assume that people
Exactly.
like you and that love you, and fill yourself with that, and go approach that girl, and you're gonna feel that like tension. Like I said, like when they're approaching the lions, they're like heart, they're like heart is beating fast. Like I feel that too all the first time, but then the more you do it, eventually like that feeling's gonna disappear, and you're gonna feel safe, and you're just gonna talk and talk. And everything you say is gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be so worried about is she gonna like me? Like something that helps me is, like I said, don't worry about whether she's gonna like you or not. How about you worry about, am I gonna like her? Or,
Mhm.
can I have fun? Like, can I just go and have fun? Like, what's something
Yeah.
that I can say to
Or
just
even, am I gonna like me after this interaction? Am I gonna like myself after this interaction? Meaning, did I bitch out and not make the approach? Or did I make the approach and I'm glad
where
I
it's
did it and I experienced it and I'm feeling fucking incredible because I did it. You know
a
what I mean?
girl and you don't approach her, man. I know a lot of guys,
Yeah.
and those guys most
Yeah.
definitely felt that. Like you see that beautiful girl, and like you think about it, about approaching her and this, you're like, oh, here we go. Maybe wait, no, and then you start coming up with these stupid excuses. Like you literally make it hard for yourself. I
Yeah.
want you to realize that you make it
Self-sabotage.
hard for yourself. Like
Yep.
you come up with these like thing, well, random weirds. Like maybe you're on the store and you're gonna approach her. I'm like, oh wait, no, my hair isn't perfect now for. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom, and then you come back like, oh darn, she left. No, like just do it now. Just don't even think. Just do it, right? And be okay with it. Like be okay with it now. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna end regardless. So just do it now. Enjoy the now. The fact that you did, get a height of it, that you fucking did it.
Straight
Most,
up.
most people are not doing that, right? And proud of yourself that you're different, that you go talk to whoever you want, you do whatever you want, because you go for what you want. You're kind of like this free spirit. You know what I'm saying? You're just here to
Hmm.
share it. If someone
Hmm.
doesn't want to accept it at that time, you're okay with it. You're like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Facts. And a lot of the fear comes from the unknown, right? Naturally, yes, you're gonna fear the unknown, right? However, life is not as dangerous as it once was. Yes, we say it's a concrete jungle. It is. It has the potential. That's why you're fearless. That's why you're strong. That's why as a man you're combat ready. That's why as a man you learn how to fight. That's why as a man you have strong allies. That's why as a man you realize, I honestly truly believe, here's my personal thought, okay, Felipe? Every man, okay, if you're a fucking man, you're healthy and sane, should have a fucking gun. I don't know why every man doesn't have a gun. Because that it's like literally in ancient times, we all had swords. We all fucking protected ourselves. What, the government can tell you what you can and can't do? Like it's fucking, that's why I love America. It's way better than Canada from the sense of self sovereignty. the right to protect yourself and your loved ones, right? The right for no fucking government, entity, person, whatever, to ever bully you, to ever, threaten you or anyone you care about, right? End of the day, in the jungle, might is right. And in the more lower spiritual realms, might is right too. Okay? If you guys, fucking like, if you want to believe in entities or energies or spirits or other things that you can't perceive by your senses, supernatural things, right? It's simply because you don't understand, you don't have enough knowledge or understanding as to what that thing is, right? I would definitely like certain things you should definitely be cautious of because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. For example, Ouija boards, I wouldn't recommend. I would not recommend the average person to use that shit because it opens up almost like a subtle gateway and it just brings negative shit. You don't know how to cleanse, you don't know what to do, and it's just not good. And I just wouldn't recommend that unless you're someone who's explored the metaphysical realms, explored the laws. That's one of the things that I was always drawn to. I mean, my family, my great grandfather was involved in we could say you could call it like witchcraft or whatever, but it was done in the way of like it was done in the way of improving his life, improving his community, right? Like for example, doing a ritual. Like I mean, this is like ancient Iran, like 2 or 3 generations ago, right? In their worldview, right? Every geographic location in the world, they have their worldview. So if you're, for example, in modern day Iran, right? It's Islam. Ancient times, Iran, it was Zoroastrianism, totally different belief system and ideology. Now Zoroastrianism is still there, but it's much smaller than Islam. Come to the West, Christianity, Catholicism. Go to Africa. There's like other traditions there. Go to, go to Asia. There's Buddhism. There's Taoism. All kinds of stuff, right? But that's the worldview of that area. Now, what am I really getting to here? What I'm getting to here is I was talking about my great grandfather and how he would tap into and he would whatever connect with what they call jinns, which are like Islamic demons, you could say, right? But he would use them to like find the neighborhood thief, heal people, do all kinds of stuff in the community that was beneficial and positive, right? People had all kinds of like whatever rumors and oh, you don't know, like people are afraid of what they don't know, right? For me, I had an existential crisis at 18. I was like, what's going on? Then I had a series of experiences that would drive most people to the mental hospital, right? And then I understood what's going on. I began meditating. I began seeing, and it's just my natural path was to acquire this knowledge of understanding the laws that govern the universe. I don't know. I'm not saying I know all the laws, but I know enough to be able to operate effectively in the world. And I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly growing, right? And anything I learned is to improve my life and the lives of those around me. If you really think about witchcraft or sorcery, anything like that, right? It's all applied quantum physics. Applied quantum physics is understanding all of life is a set of probabilities, right? And the probability that's most likely, the probability that occurs is the one the observer focuses on, right? So if you can think about it as all probabilities existing, like there's something called the double slit experiment. Have you heard of that, Felipe?
Yeah.
No, you haven't heard of the double slit experiment? Okay. Well, fuck it. Let's show the audience, and I'll show you as well, the double slit experiment in quantum physics. Okay, very interesting because this really, again, shows you all things are possible. Double slit experiment, quantum physics. I'll just do that. Double slit experiment, physics. Let me find it. Find a nice short, strange double slit experiment. Okay. Here we go. Maybe this will explain.
When a laser emits beams of light particles called photons at a screen with 2 slits, you'd expect to see 2 strips to correspond with the 2 slits. Instead, we see a pattern of light and dark bands. This suggests that light behaves like waves that pass through both slits simultaneously, interfering with each other to create the pattern on the second screen. However, when scientists used a measuring device to observe the slit that each photon passed through, the interference pattern disappeared, and 2 strips appeared. The act of observing which slit it went through changed the behavior of the photons. No one knows why observing a particle causes its behavior to change. When a laser emits beams
So that might be confusing for some people, but basically I'll explain it here a little bit more. Those lights exist everywhere until an observer observes it. Then it goes to the way the observer. So it's like, did the tree really fall down if nobody heard it? If no animal, no observer heard it? It's one of those things, right? Now, I want to better, like, just a little bit more of an understanding. Maybe we can see how Neil deGrasse Tyson explains it here. Let's try this.
What about the double slit experiment?
That experiment is widely misunderstood. This whole idea is the observer effect. If you're not looking at it, you get one result, but if you look at it, you get another result, as though your consciousness is affecting the experiment. Consciousness right now is not a fully understand.
Okay,
Let's
so
say you were
there's
smaller.
Tyson.
Let's keep making you smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. When I turn on that light, you will absorb that light and jump to another state of existence. But if you're an electron, I can't see you. Let me turn on the lights. I turn on the lights, photon hits the electron jumps to a different state. I cannot know what the electron is doing unless I illuminate it. And if I illuminate it, it's doing something different from what it was before I illuminated it. It has nothing to do with consciousness. It has to do with interacting with the object in order to make a measurement. And that requires some.
Okay, so that literally went against what I was saying. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I love the guy, but again, science in modern day, a lot of times when they don't truly understand quantum physics, comes to a point of becoming its own religion because you begin to reject other ideas. A true scientist is always open for ideas and is always open to understand what's going on. Now, the double slit experiments, I mean, there's some people you'll see that are extremely scientific and materialists, and there's some people you'll see that are way too spiritual and way out there. The correct way is the middle because the subtle worlds exist, the physical worlds exist, and if you look at the ancient Hermetic principles, as above, so below, as below, so above, okay? So really, all I'm trying to say here, okay, is the observer effect, okay? Now, I don't think I showed good examples here, but let's say quantum physics, okay, it is actually related to consciousness because consciousness is light, okay? Wherever the observer places its attention, that probability, that wave collapses and becomes reality. So in your mind, you can say, okay, there's a version here. Here's a better explanation. I'll just fucking explain it right now. Okay, there's a version of Felipe in parallel universes doing everything you can imagine, right? There's a version of you doing anything, positive, negative, everything. Now, the version of you that you live and you experience is the one you focus on, right? So that goes back to your mind, right? The reality, it's like you're jumping parallel realities. I want the one where I'm rich, where I have beautiful relationships, where I have powerful allies. I don't want the one where I'm a fucking drug addict in the street, I'm dying, or I don't want the one where, I'm living, I'm hating my life, living it, doing a job I hate and just, hating my existence, right? I want to have the life, like, of all the probabilities that exist, I want the best one. So I'm going to place my attention on that. And this is where we begin to see the power of affirmations. This is where we begin to see the power of visualization because you consistently see that outcome. And now that becomes what happens. You see? So basically, I actually, there's parts of Neil deGrasse Tyson I like, there's parts I don't like. But basically, this consciousness, right? All probabilities exist. What that double slit experiment shows you is on the back, the electrons go everywhere, right? But the second an observer comes, it begins to collapse and go through what the observer can see, right? If there's only two slits the observer can see through, right? The light that's going, it's everywhere. But the second the observer comes in, it goes right on where it is. So consciousness can hone in and create an outcome almost. Now, without getting too fucking spiritual, okay, I'm going to show you guys some really interesting videos later on of like guys levitating and shit. Like, how is that even possible, right? That's literally quantum physics. Quantum physics shows you reality is almost malleable. Now, it is the way it is for a good reason. It's what we call, have you heard of something called the collective observer effect, Felipe?
No, I don't think I have.
No. Okay. It's all related. It's all power. Okay. The reason why I'm even sharing this is because it empowers you. So here's the collective observer effect. Okay. And this is why the powers that be, okay, the ruling elite wants the masses to think a particular way, because that means certain things are possible, certain things are not possible, or the wave, the majority of the people are headed in a certain direction. Okay. So, and it's usually they get the crowd in a certain direction that's in their own profit and not in the benefit of the greater whole. But here's what I really mean when I say this. Okay. What I'm trying to say here is imagine this, right? There's two particular videos that I can show you guys. Okay. Maybe we'll go over it later on, but basically there's a video of a monk, okay? Fucking I'll show you the one of the monk, okay? There's this guy called, I think it was called the Mentalist, or this guy basically is a stage magician. He does magic and stuff, right? But he had a documentary where he was going and trying to find, there's this man in Tibet that is known to levitate. And it's like some remote village far off in the mountains with like maybe like 50 or 100 people living there. Keep in mind, that's a remote, far off area. So they make this documentary of going and finding this guy, and it was extremely hard to find. But in the end, they find him, and he's this like man, like in this temple and like all alone or whatever there. And they come and talk to the guy. And I can show you guys the video after this. And he's like, okay, like we've heard that you can levitate, like, can you show us this? He's like, I do this, but I don't do this for a show. I don't do this for you. It's part of my practice, and this is what happens, right? I'm not doing this because I'm looking for praise or admiration. This is part of me. So they basically said, no, I'm not gonna fucking show you. Get the fuck out of here, right? And the guy was like, what if this? What if I can blow your mind? The magician says, right? If I can show you a cool trick, right? Would you be willing to show it to me? It's like, okay. He does this thing where like whatever, the moon is there, then he somehow makes some kind of illusion. He makes the moon not be there, and then he makes the monk impressed. And the monk is like, whoa, that was really cool what you did. Okay, let me show you what I can do. And then he actually agrees to do it. So he's in this circle with a candle. Okay, it's like a bunch of candles around it, whatever, right? Circles again have symbology. It means, whatever. There's got symbols involved. But basically, the monk, right? Again, let's talk about the law of vibration. Everything is vibration, everything is vibrating. Okay. He adjusts his vibration through repeating a certain mantra, through getting himself into a certain state of consciousness, right? Remember, in this far off remote village with maybe 50 or 100 people, okay? And these 50 or 100 people, this is part of their culture, okay? Meditating, understanding spirituality in Tibet, they're a very, very spiritual culture. They understand the metaphysical laws very well. In the West, in the West, okay, we know that outer sciences very well. In the East, they know the inner sciences very well. So whatever, the monk starts repeating his mantra. He starts, all of a sudden you see him gradually go up, gradually it starts levitating. Big fucking deal, in my opinion, if you ask me, right? But it's crazy because he's defying the laws of physics, and it's like, oh my God, right? And the cameraman goes, and he's like, okay, there's no wires, there's nothing on this guy. He's literally just like starts levitating a little bit, right? He's very calm. He's in his state, goes up and goes down. There's another one of an African shaman that does it in a different tradition, but let's just stick with this one for now. Let me tell you why it's possible for this monk to meditate and levitate, because quantum physics tells us all probabilities exist. It is what the observer focuses on, which happens. Okay? This idea empowers you. That is why I'm sharing it with everyone here today. Okay? Now, in that remote village, like I said, there's only 50 to 100 people. All these people believe it's possible to levitate. Okay? The collective observer effect in that geographic location in the mountains, cut off from the city and society. Okay, remember, this metaphysical shit, this stuff like this happens in remote areas. Okay? Because the collective observer effect plays a part. Okay? So the individual observer can affect outcomes, but there's the collective minds of all the different observers that plays a collective observer effect. Here's what I mean. Remember Dundas Square, Felipe, when you came to Young Dundas Square in Toronto, right? It's kind of like the New York City, like it's that big square with hundreds of thousands of people, right? If that monk were to come to the West, to Toronto, and try to levitate in the middle of fucking Dundas Square, he wouldn't be able to. If that guy were to go to Times Square and try to meditate and do his thing, he wouldn't be able to. Do you know why? Because the collective observer of everyone there doesn't believe it. It doesn't think it's possible. It doesn't think it's anything like this is even possible. They're too, like, how to put it, stiff in their mind, and they're very materialist, and they don't think it's possible. So the collective observer effect in that region will prevent that probability from occurring. But in the far off mountain, it happens. There's another video of some African shaman in a far off jungle. Why is it that it's always somewhere far off? You see? Far off jungle where there's like a tribe of maybe 20, 30 people, and it's part of their tradition where they have these spiritual practices where stuff levitates, they get possessed, all kinds of, they work with energies they understand for years. They've been doing this, right? And the guy like goes in the air, right? And like in a state of like not being himself, and it comes down. Now, this monk did it through the Tibetan tradition and he levitated. This guy did it, let's just say the African Vodun tradition where he went up and he came down, right? Both of them have different ways of achieving similar effects, right? But that guy used the African tradition, this guy used the Tibetan, Buddhist tradition, right? Through understanding vibration, altering their vibration. They did it in a different way. They alter their state of consciousness through dance, through ecstatic dance and raising their energy. The monks do it through meditating and repeating a certain mantra and taking themselves through different states of consciousness, right? There's a reason, even when you look at, like these elites, right? I'm sure you've seen videos of them. They do like weird fucking ceremonial shit, right? All that stuff they do, okay, it's all symbolic. And the act of wearing the robe and doing this shit and doing this adult role play actually gets them in a state of consciousness that opens up abilities almost. Okay. That act of going through the tradition, the ritual, and the whatnot gets you in a state of consciousness that's now you're experiencing things differently. The Sufis in the Middle East did it through this dance they did where they would spin in circles, but then they did it in a particular way where it opened up parts of their mind that wasn't immediately available, right? So all I'm saying is that the ritual itself puts you in the state of consciousness, whether it's dance, you can even fast and you're gonna really see your state of consciousness is different. If you don't sleep for fucking 5 days or 3 days, you're going to start hallucinating. And there's different ways of altering your state of consciousness. But once you alter your state of consciousness, you can begin to access the unified field. Okay. And I'm just going way out there now. Okay. But I just want to really empower people by making them realize if you can meditate, okay, if you can truly meditate, you will access a part of you that's connected to everything. Once you do that, okay, you begin to open your mind to greater possibilities. One of the things I do when I face a problem in my life is I change my state of consciousness, right? I'm like, okay, I need a solution to this problem. I need a solution to this problem, right? And then I let go of my egoic state of consciousness as I'm breathing, as I'm relaxing. I come to a higher place. And then all of a sudden, maybe the exact answer, sometimes the exact answer comes, but the answer is, okay, go here and ask this person this question. All of a sudden the image of something comes up, like maybe I'm stressing about taxes, an accountant comes up. I call the accountant and the accountant ends up being an expert and my problem is solved. But your mind is a powerful quantum computer that has the answers. If you don't know it, it's just because the data isn't there. If we feel fear, it's because we don't have enough information around what's going on, right? I've studied enough of the metaphysical fucking laws to be able to be a spiritual predator, to not be scared of fucking ghosts, demons, angels, aliens. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I know how to contain my energy. I know how to calm myself, right? And there's an ancient saying. It's saying and this is quite powerful. If you're meditating, again, it's a metaphor, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. If you're meditating and the devil appears, make the devil meditate. You see? If you're meditating and the devil appears, make the devil meditate. The devil is symbolic to your fears, your negativity, fucking all these lower vibrations, right? As you're meditating and these thoughts are coming up, calm yourself down because they too will calm down. You see? There's so many interesting ways that you can look at it, but it's all related to fear. You see, when we have fear, your mind is locked into the probability of you getting rejected, of the boyfriend coming out of nowhere, this imaginary boyfriend. Maybe she might actually have a boyfriend, but you don't know until you ask, right? Now, if you go indirect, that's why I recommend personally more indirect, especially if you're approach the caliber of women that we teach how to approach, which is women that are highly prized, right? You don't immediately hit on the girl. The conversation begins, you begin to convey who you are, you begin to understand, and if you do it correctly, you understand game, you begin to convey certain qualities that get the woman attracted, like leadership, protector of loved ones, healthy emotions, successful risk taker. There's attraction switches that you can understand, and as you simply have conversation, she's gonna get attracted to. As you feel good inside yourself, right? Like Felipe, you really talked about playfulness and this great energy, right? Whatever you feel, she feels, and she gets attracted. Because in my mind, as you put yourself in these situations, you begin to see new possibilities. For some people that are newer in the game, the possibility of getting a beautiful girl is not there yet. But after every approach, they see, oh shit, I can hold a conversation. Oh shit, I can get a number. Oh shit, I can go on a date. Oh shit, I not only go on a date, but I can have an incredible fucking date. Now I can go on 2 or 3 dates, and boom, now I started a whole relationship with a girl that I thought was out of my league. And bro, like your self-respect, your entitlement, right, raises the more you work on yourself, the more you live fearlessly, right? And there's one book that really helped me that I recommend to all my clients and students, bro, is Courage by Osho. Because Courage by Osho, this particular book shows you how to jump into the unknown, right? And not have fear. Because actually, by jumping into the unknown, like you said, Felipe, taking that plunge, taking that dive, right? Jumping off and learning to fly. When you jump into the unknown, you realize life is on the other side, evolution is on the other side, growth is on the other side, right? And you become very empowered, right? And you begin to, instead of like running away from life, you go after life, right? Instead of being on the defense, you're on the offense now. You see? So all that stuff just goes to say, believe it's possible, write it down, visualize it, see it, and it begins to happen. What are your thoughts on that, man?
That was, that
It's
was
a
really,
lot.
that was a lot. That was really good though. Had me
Shit,
thinking a
bro.
lot, like very deeply. I really like what you had to share. Especially about, being able to see what's possible. Cause like I always tell people, I'm like, and I
Anything is
even tell this
possible,
to
bro.
myself because there's levels to this, right? I'm like, dude, I'm like, damn, people don't even know how good life can be. Like I always tell people, like, I talk to them like, you don't even know how good life can get. I don't even know yet, too. Like I know how good it is, but I know it gets even better. And it's like
It
it's
really does.
level to it because you think this is it, but then as you come to the present moment, you really start understanding this, right? And kind of come to that higher level of self and really open yourself to options, and you go out and talk to people, and you raise your standards, and you really realize what's fucking possible, right? You actually see that lane, that path, right? Most people just don't see it. So it's like, oh, why am I
Mhm.
I don't see a path? But once you actually see it, you're like, oh my God, like, oh wow, like life gets this good. Wait, what? Wait, it gets better? Wait, whoa. And like it gets so good, you're just like, you feel so good and like actually free, and you just move a different way. Now, I think a lot some people honestly, dude, I was thinking about it. I think some people just, and we've talked about this before. I think some people just need to get angry. Like, dude,
Mhm.
like angry. Like I know
It
a lot of
moves
guys
you.
out there, like, dude, you see that beautiful girl. Maybe you've seen that car that you want to drive or whatever. It's like, get angry. Like, why can it not be you? Why have you
Exactly.
empower yourself to believe that you cannot have that? Like, where's
Exactly.
your self entitlement? And I get it, like it's always kind of bit of a paradox because, like, like I say, that's why approaching like getting rejected, it's like a great way to grow spiritually. Because in a way, like I'm saying, like you should like go ahead and be a little entitled, but it also humbles you because you're like, oh, I'm human and I can get rejected, right? And you gotta
Exactly.
like people, like if people don't like you, like you either think about it as like, oh, maybe their perception of life is just not right because they don't even know me and I'm awesome. Or, it also could be that, it's their they don't like you because I'm just not the right fit. Just like the same way, if you have a business, not every person's gonna be the right fit and you're okay,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
But you understand that there's numerous options, and which we talked about in the last episode, right? Abundance. Um, that's when you are in that full abundance, you lose that fear. You're like, holy shit, what is really to lose? Because at the end of the day, like I said, everything's gonna come to an end. When you go out, have that fun, and you're trying to have fun, that night's gonna come to an end. What are you gonna do now? In the now, are you gonna really let that fear take over your night, rob you? You know what I'm saying? Like it's robbing you from what you could have now. Like you're okay now. You have like you just change if you just change that switch in your mind, right? And just go for it. Like kind of like say fuck it. It's kind of like, to be honest, like when I went to Vegas, something crazy I did. When I went to Vegas, they had like this I don't know what to call it. It's like fake little cliff waterfall thingy
Mhm.
right on the pool. And it was like it's at least like 20 feet, I would say 20, 25, something like that. and I ended up doing a backflip out of it. First time ever. And I was scared. I
Right.
literally have a video of me like I like it's like it had like levels to it. So I first like did it on the short part and I was like scared. I was like I wouldn't allow myself to do that backflip because in my head I kept going to like, what if like, which is just water, like worst case scenario, I land wrongly on the water, but like my brain would not allow me. It was like, what if I land wrongly? What if that hurts?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and like you intensify the actual outcome. Like you're like, what if, right? Like I said, I'm actually gonna die. I'm like, and eventually when you actually are able to just be in the present moment and just do the action, like just let go, like, oh, whatever. Like it's nothing. Dude, like I remember doing that backflip and it looked ugly. Like I looked at the video, I was like, well, that's a really ugly backflip. But I did it, right? Like I sent it, whatever, and eventually I did it out like 20 feet. I was like, oh my God, into the water. First time ever. Dude, it's like you generally feel so free and you get a high. Like you're like, dude, I can't do anything.
Literally.
You're like, I
Bro.
can't do anything. Like I did that backflip, I was like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
can't. And it felt so freeing. And that's what having a good night is. You go out, talk to the girl, like maybe it goes bad, maybe it goes really well. And you're like, holy shit.
I can
Right?
even give you a perspective of a fighter. Like right before a fight, every fucking man before a fight is afraid. Mike Tyson's afraid. You feel the fear inside. You just don't let it stop you. Now, you feel it, you move anyways, you go in the ring. Once you're in the ring, total confidence comes. All those hours of training comes to mind, right? You're in the present moment. You feel incredible. After the fight, you feel amazing because you approached your fear, you dominated, you gave it your all, right? You came out, and if you're someone that comes in there with this attitude of not being a fucking afraid, you feel it, but you act anyways, you become unstoppable, right? You feel the fear and you move anyways. Didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No, dude. I like what you have to share. Honestly, I
You
always
know.
just think it's cooler to just be a man that's fearless. Like just go for it. Like fuck it. Even if I
Mm-hmm.
accomplish what I thought I was gonna get, right? Like just go for it. Like it's just cooler. You're a badass. Just go for what you want. You know what I'm saying? You try.
Exactly.
It's all about your attitude and whether you get it or not. It's like how do you like respond to that? It's like, oh, it's still a win, right? Like Sylvia's a win regardless. It's like and they
Mm-hmm.
develop this character that becomes very, very attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you rather have someone in your team that's like, yep, let's go, we're gonna do this, we're gonna win. Even when the odds are against you, you have these motherfuckers like, no, we're gonna win. Let's do it. Fuck.
Exactly.
Like you're like, oh shit, I want that guy on my team. Or you'd rather have someone like, oh, what if we lose? What if this? No,
Attitude is everything,
you don't
man.
want that in that team, right? So like, just assume that emotion and like, provide it with the action to correlate it and like do it in massive amounts, like overwhelm the mind with the action. And I
Exactly.
promise your emotions would change. That fear will disappear, and you realize that fear is not you. This little voice that's like, "Don't do this." That's not you.
The people around you too. A big part of it is the people around you. Are you around fucking losers that make fun of you after you make an approach? Or are you around positive brothers and wingmen that after you make an approach, like you got rejected, any great fucking work. You approached, you made it happen. Hey, you made that cold call, great work. You approached your fears, you made it. It's not like approaching the girl and getting rejected, right, is better than not approaching the girl and wondering what could have been. You get to a point where it hurts way more to not approach than to approach and get rejected. What if you approach and you succeed? You get the number. What if you make that cold call? You realize, wow, this person has a need for your product. You set up a demo. The demo goes great. You move on. The deal closes. Fantastic. But you would have never known if you never performed outreach, if you never went and made the approach, right?
Something I think that comes to mind. I say it's like a lot of guys when I think because I'm thinking about my previous experience and from what I've seen, it's like you think for some reason, like in your head, like I say, you amplify things. You think for some reason you're gonna approach that girl, and when she rejects you, you feel like everyone in around you is gonna know, and like everyone's
Yeah.
gonna be like, ha 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 ha. It's like
Yeah.
no one even probably even notices that you got rejected by that girl. For all they know, from their perspective, if they were even paying attention, because everyone's self-centered. Everyone's
Yeah.
like paying attention about themselves most of the time. They're probably in the corner of the eye. They saw just you talking to a girl. For all they know, you guys are friends.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you made a big deal out of it and made a show, well, yeah, it's gonna show. But like, if you just act like it's nothing, came with good energy, it's literally gonna look like it was nothing, right? And I've seen it like, nowadays, like I've seen people who like, and I've done it, right? Like where you approach a girl and it didn't go well, but then you like literally a couple of minutes later, like within the same environment, you go approach another one, it goes very well. And then funny
Exactly.
enough, the other one fucking turns around.
Exactly. It's always the same, bro. Oh shit, these other girls like him. Oh, he must be somebody, and then they come to you. You know what I mean? That girl I rejected earlier now likes you because now this other girl likes you. You see? Same
Yeah.
thing, bro. Social proof, right? In business, it's like, oh, you didn't want my product. Oh, now you see these big companies are working with me, huh? You didn't know, right? Exactly. There's a reason why these big organizations choose to work with me because I fucking bring value, right? And the same thing with these girls. Oh, this guy has a value for these other girls to be into him. That is actually the most powerful attraction switch, right? Pre-selection, other women wanting you, other people wanting you already, right? So big part of it is again like how do you view yourself, right? The way
Yeah.
you view yourself changes with time as you take action, as you repeat positive affirmation to yourself, right? I truly believe, right? Felipe, like, have you ever written your goals down on paper?
Yes.
Would you say the vast majority of the time, almost every single thing, almost, maybe not, I can only speak for myself. The majority of things I've written down as goals have come to true. Right
It,
now, unless it's like a fucking, oh, I have $100 million net worth. Now that takes time. But
right.
like if it's reasonable, I have this, I have that. All those things that I wrote down, I have a meaningful partner in my life. I have powerful business. I'm doing what I love. All these things that I wrote down are now here. So knowing that, even if 10% of what you wrote down comes true, you're gonna write shit down every day. Right? So write shit down, even if 20%, 25%, 50% of it comes true. Why wouldn't you write it down, right? If by doing so it happens, why isn't everybody doing it, right? So I have periods of time where I actively journal, I journal once or twice a week. Now I'm actively journaling again because I'm remembering and I'm seeing the power of repeatedly seeing
Like brainwashing
the
yourself, dude. Like
image
literally, yeah,
exactly of where I want to be. Exactly.
just like the same way people brainwash themselves with fear, dude. It's like every day you're like, oh,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
want you to do the same thing, but like
Well said.
with like with with words and actions are gonna empower you, like
Yeah.
brainwash yourself. And like, yeah, that I think that's where like kind of like fake it till you make it. Now
100%.
there's a way where like you're gonna, if you just like say all this shit and like whatever and you don't take action, yeah, it's like you're lying to yourself.
Intend it until you make it.
Right, like actually put in the
Every day, put in the intention, put in the actions,
like
right? And you're
and
gonna make it.
eventually you give yourself undisputable evidence that you are who you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
You carry yourself different. You're like, oh yeah,
I
fuck,
love that.
I'm
Your brain begins to find the reference experiences to make that real to you.
the right information for you to just relax in the present moment. Just be like,
Exactly.
"Be okay. You are like whatever happens, happens. You can
Yeah,
handle it. You have that, you become that honey badger."
exactly. And honestly, on the path of the game, okay, because I always say game is the highest form of self-development, right? The number one thing that you do day one of getting in the game is conquering your fears, which is approaching women, especially women that are attractive and, are prized. And it's funny because we talked about this, excuse me, previous podcast episode where it's like, you know, oh, I think Felipe disconnected here. We'll wait for Felipe to join.
My computer just died. I didn't even realize it was that low. I was like, what the? Caught me off
All
guard.
good. All good, brother. All good.
You still
Um,
recording?
yeah, it's still recording. All good.
Okay, cool, cool. I'm back. I'm
We'll
back.
continue it off. All good. It should happens. So the thing that I was just finishing the point was you remember how you said like sometimes even the most attractive girls, no one's approaching her because everyone's
Yeah.
afraid, right? So when you actually make the approach, boom, you just got the hottest girl in the club because everyone's a pussy. Right now, game, you have tight game, you approach correctly, you present yourself correctly in a high status way, in a high value way, in a fun, playful way, right? You're going to intrigue that woman and you're going to be attract her, right? On the journey of game, one of the most beautiful things that you guys will see, it's like there's like level up, level up, level up. It's like each level up, it's like the old you dies, a new version of you is there. The guy,
Yes.
most guys start out as, okay, I'm a virgin. Now I just got laid. Oh my God, I just got laid. Now you get laid multiple times with like girls that are less attractive, right? Fives and sixes. Now all of a sudden you're this cool guy, and each version of you, right, becomes more attractive, becomes more successful. Your body gets better, your mindset gets stronger. Now you're getting with sevens and eights. Now you're getting with nines and tens because your sense of entitlement raises with time, right? Who you are evolves. You understand social dynamics. You understand you know, your social awareness increases. You begin to go in environments where people interact and your street smarts go up. So now you're no longer this naive nerd. You're somebody that's been in the world, been tested by the world, and been tested by women, and nothing will make your frame as strong as talking to nines and tens and having them
Yeah.
test the shit out of you.
Very
Okay.
true.
Having them crush your ego, crush your sense of self, so then you can be reborn as someone who's so icy they can't touch. You see? So you embrace it. You don't run away from challenges. Each challenge only makes you stronger. And you're going to reach a point where it's effortless effort now. Now you can come in, convey who you are, have fun, and literally attract people into your life on a far more effortless level. But everything is earned. Nothing in life is just handed to you, right? We all earn our position in life. And I 100% believe in that, stand by it, and want you guys to really know this to the core, right? Self-respect, integrity, your sense of entitlement raising, all this comes from you approaching and conquering your fears. Okay? Any thoughts on that, brother?
Very, very well said, dude. Just conquering your fears, And I like
Huge.
how, dude, it's crazy when you talk to like better girls and stuff like that, and they actually start acting nicer to you because you just have swagger in the way you carry yourself.
Exactly.
Once they're done with like their shit test and they actually kind of let their guard down because you're like, oh, you're not a weirdo or whatever. You're like, oh, wait, this is actually really nice,
Yeah.
right? It's like a whole different life. Like I say, it gets really good and you don't even realize. And then you're able to actually look back at the person that you were. You're like, whoa, why was I acting like that? It's like you finally have, awakened from, this like mental haze that you were in of full of fears and doubts and, you just in your little comfortable bed and like no wanting to go out and all this jerking off. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Exactly.
wake up. It's like you're being
Most
trained to
guys.
be like this domestic little animal, like it be inside. Like, where's your swagger? You have no swagger. Like I said, I know we talked about this. Like, I have a friend who like he's an attractive guy. Like girls literally like been like, oh, like I've seen girls being interested in him, right? Like when I'm out with him, because I've been out with him. And I can read it and see it, and girls have come up to me like, hey, who's your friend? Right? But he just doesn't have that swagger, like that, that ferociousness from like a honey
Mhm.
badger. He's just kind of
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
he's like passive. He's
Yep.
like,
Docile. That's the
yes,
state of
like
majority
you
of
can talk to a
guys,
girl, he's
right?
like, is it okay to be me? He's like, dude,
Yeah.
where's your ownership? Where's your entitlement? Where's your playfulness? Like,
He's
just all
earlier in his
you
character
are.
development journey. He's earlier, but he's got to put in the work. Shit's not gonna magically happen. You got to take charge and want yourself to improve, right?
I think it's because a lot of men are living by this like imaginary guidelines and rules that society put upon them. Like, you have to act like this. You
Yeah.
cannot say this.
It's
Don't
so
offend
stupid.
our feelings. And like
It's so
they just
dumb.
they just try to be so like anal about it. It's like, bro, it's like you're acting
Yeah,
like a Karen, but like
exactly.
a pussy Karen.
Like, let me tell you this, right? Like, here's an interesting perspective, right? When me and Justin run boot camps, the best students are the guys that come in ready to learn. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna pretend like I know shit. There's a reason why I'm here because I'm not getting results. So I want to know what you know. And as they empty their cup can now be filled again with knowledge. And all of a sudden, you get rid of your old bullshit ideas, which had you be a virgin, which had you barely get laid, which had you barely have any meaningful relationships. You get rid of that. Now you install the right ideas. You're like, oh shit. Now you're operating off strong, empowering ideas that tell you it's okay to approach. It's okay to approach and get rejected because now you're gaining reference experience and you're getting better. Every approach you make, every conversation you have is only allowing your social awareness to increase, is only allowing your charisma to increase, and is only allowing you to go to the next person and bring in even better energy. Every relationship allows you to learn from that relationship and bring an even better version of you into the next relationship, right? I'm happy of all my previous relationships because it allowed me to make this relationship that I have now great because I learned who I am. I learned my natural tendencies because a woman will expose
Right.
naturally, whether you know it or you don't, will expose all of your own weaknesses to you. So then, in order to truly have and keep a woman, you have to be able to truly show up as your best. You have to not be complacent, right? Now, we all slip here and there, right? But we can overcome, we can recover, and we can inspire our woman. The way you keep a girl is by you truly being the best option in her life. Her seeing that not only are you dominating life, You can easily dominate other men in the sense of any activity she considers important or any activity you do, right? You're dominating, you're a winner, you're winning, you're a competitor in life, right? You're not afraid, you're a competitor in life and you're going after life. This energy is attractive because why? Because it's got greater survival value, right? In Mother
Yeah,
Nature, if she
yeah.
got with the guy who's competitive, who's got this drive and ambition, she's going to have a greater chance of surviving versus the guy who's docile, weak, beta, right? Doesn't do shit, right? So she's definitely going to go with this guy versus that
I like
guy.
that you make that because it makes me think
You
like
see?
like if we were back in the caveman area, would she rather be in the cave with the man who's gonna go out there and get the food and be like, "Yo, I'm coming." Like he's like, "Oh, like I'm gonna go grab food." Oh, he's like all manly, or he's gonna be with a pussy who's like, who's like scared to
Yep.
even go out the cave and like she'll
Jordan
see.
Peterson calls this competence. Competence, right? It's that psychopathic traits, these Machiavellian traits. Like, why is it that women are attracted to such men? Because they're mimic or resemble competence,
Yeah,
which
like
I call
narcissistic man, like that's
survival
why
value.
like they love him because like at least even though the narcissistic, it's like you're like, oh, he's so, dude. At least he has no fear. He's like, yep.
Exactly.
He has like it's kind of like you low key sometimes like want to be borderline narcissistic, but like you are human, so you have to like humble yourself, like be super hyper
Yeah.
aware of your own ego and everything, but like just love yourself and like be don't be afraid of like going there a little bit. Like, you know what I'm
Don't
saying?
apologize for being who you are.
Yeah.
If who you are is making the world a better place, if you're inspiring people around you, you're not attacking or hurting anybody, why the fuck are you apologizing? It's like men are walking around apologizing for being men, right? And there's this post that I had on my Instagram, which is hilarious, which is this right here, right? Even just having a set of balls is considered a toxic thing these days, right? Just having a set of balls is considered toxic. What the fuck have we come to, right? So embrace your masculinity, embrace who you are as a man, embrace your strength, go to the gym, feel the testosterone rush through your fucking veins, through your body, right? Feel how great you can feel if you truly give it your all, right? And at the end of the day, you know, go knowing you gave it your all and you're going to feel proud of yourself. Your confidence is going to go up, right? The worst thing any man feels is going to bed knowing he could have done more, right? Give it your all and your confidence is going to increase. Your sense of self is going to increase, right? And we're not perfect, but every day we do better than the last day. And as long as you're doing that 1% improvement, right? You're going to get better by the end of the day. Just lay every day, lay each brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. And soon enough, you're going to have a powerful house, a beautiful house, a castle, right? But we have to start the work, and the work begins when we conquer our fears, right? So any fear you have, don't run away, fucking go after it, right? That's
Man,
the right attitude, and
just
the world recognizes it.
I want to get out there right now.
What's that?
I'm so like right now like motivated. I'm like, yeah, it's like
Fuck yeah,
right now it's like 12 a.m. for me, right? Like we're recording
yeah. We're
late. I'm like,
recording this at 12 a.m. on a weekday, on a Monday night.
I'm
You know
like,
what I
you know
mean?
what?
Fuck yeah.
Sleep for me tonight.
We're inspired always.
No, yeah, I
Fuck
love
sleep. And when you
it.
got so much inspiration in you, when
Yeah.
you got so much energy, this energy is going to carry into the next day because we're doing what we love and what we believe in, right? And if you guys listening to this right now also do the thing that you love, if you're a musician, if you're a music producer and you feel alive DJing and creating music, do that. If you're a painter and you feel alive doing that, do that. If you're a fucking public speaker, do that. If you're a fucking developer and you feel like a god creating a program, fucking do that. If you're a filmmaker and you have this idea and you have the storyline and this storyline is now a reality, boom, you're a creator. You just created a whole world, which is that movie you created. Whatever makes you feel alive, do that fucking thing. Right? The reason why we have so much energy is because we love what we do it, and we give it our all. And life is only going to get better and better. Hard work betrays none. And when there's purpose behind what you do, right? You can overcome any challenge, right? There was a saying, if you have a why, you can overcome anyhow. I think it was a quote like that. Let me just find it.
Well, you know what I like about that? I was actually thinking about this earlier. Escape
Yeah,
my mind. But it's like
yeah,
if
that's the
your
one.
mom, like for example, me, like my mom was in the hospital and someone said I had to do X, Y, C to save her life, I wouldn't have any fear. I'm like, dude, I need
You're
like
gonna do it
I'm
exactly.
gonna do it. I would be like, I need to do like that's my why. I need to do this. Like you wouldn't be scared of approaching someone to ask him a question, or you'd be like, give me the answer. You have like this entitlement. You're like, no, I'm gonna save my mom's life. I'm entitled to this. This is what's gonna happen, right? Like you're just like, this is gonna happen, type of like attitude. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like
Definitely.
what you need more in your life. And like if you acted more like that, like you would just get shit done. You would just like move through things. You would have any fear. You would just it's kind of like nothing else matters. Kind of like you already died. You know what I'm saying? You're
That's
reborn.
urgency. You know what I mean? It's like that you gotta have urgency in your life. You know, like it's usually when like it's funny because when we begin to serve others, we're almost inspired to move again. Because when we come outside of our own selfish problems, it's like, oh, why is life this and that, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your mom's in a problem. You know, your loved one's is having an
I can
emergency.
see.
All problems don't matter anymore. It's about helping that person. Now you got all this motivation. How did that happen, right? So why not take your own life serious and know, memento mori, you're gonna fucking die. Time is clicking. Like the fucking, hourglass is filling. Your time is almost done. So what are you going to do with your remaining years? What do you want to be remembered for?
Right. That's how we
Fucking
started the
seize the
podcast.
day.
Dude,
What's that?
fear stops well, it stops life, not death. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
are you gonna let it stop your life? Like maybe you wanna date that beautiful girl. Why don't you want it now? Like I
Hmm.
don't want to wait. Like when does your life actually start? Why are you waiting? Like tomorrow, like next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like well, how long are you gonna wait? Don't you want to live now? Like now. I want it now.
Facts.
Like where is your urgency? I want it now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to, I'm tired of it. Like I want it now. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna add that urgency to you every day, but also just live in the present moment and be okay with what you have. But go
Hmm.
after what you want. You know it's gonna be there. But take the right actions and do it like fearlessly. Be like, no, I'm gonna get what I want. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And give yourself the right reasons. So it's like I'm gonna do it, right? So there's a saying here, right? It's a Nietzsche quote. It says, "He who has a why, okay, for which to live can bear almost anyhow." Okay, he who has a why can bear almost anyhow. And you see this, the myth of Sisyphus, this guy being bound eternally to pushing
Yep.
this thing up, the boulder up. You know, what's your why? We know this, right? Loved ones is a great why. Find your reasons and make it happen. I have mine. Felipe has his. Any man with a code has a very strong reason for why he does what he does. So ask yourself, why do you do what you do? Why do you have the job that you have? Right? If you're not happy, fucking quit it. Right? If you're not happy with your career path, start a new one. If you're not happy with being a fucking corporate 9 to 5er, start a business. Right? If you're not happy with your relationship, leave. Get into another relationship. Right? You're never stuck. Right? Life is short. Okay. Enjoy the moments you have. And in my opinion, if you want to ask me, and I think I've said this in a previous podcast episode, if you want to know what is the true reason or purpose for our existence here on Earth, okay, I always view this place, this experience of a human being, okay, this place, planet Earth, is a spiritual boot camp to evolve your consciousness or spirits. The world here is filled with temptations, distractions, and pain. It's the fall to hell so that you can become tougher, evolve, and extract wisdom. Okay? When you realize that you have a body, a mind, and emotions, and that you are none of those things, life gets easier. The practice of non-attachment meditation is important and helps us grow and live better lives. Okay? This is a post. This is one of the first posts I had. And this shows you, okay, temptations, lust, fear, all these emotions and all these different things coming to him, right? But he's non-attached. He doesn't get pulled into anything. He holds center, right? The Buddha. And this is again the reminder of planet Earth being a spiritual boot camp. All the dramas, all the challenges, all the pain is only adding, okay, to the evolution of my consciousness. I'm here in this form as this identity, Aidin, okay, for my soul to evolve through this experience. You can say this because time is nonlinear at a certain level. So if I were to die, right, in the next life, if my soul needs to evolve by being born in the 1950s in that timeline with all the souls that are there, great. Then my soul is going to go there, get those experiences, evolve, right? So this is how I view it, right? It's very much aligned with ancient Eastern texts, right? Like the Vedas and whatnot. But your soul, your consciousness will go wherever it needs to go to evolve. That is the only constant that I found in the universe. And evolution doesn't just apply to the physical, the material, it also applies to the spiritual. Okay. So once you have enough experiences as a human being, then you're going to graduate, find a way to break the circle of life and death, as in Buddhism they talk about. And you're going to evolve and then maybe go into another fucking dimension, another planet as an alien, experience that. And maybe your soul needs to go there and experience that, right? And once you're done that, maybe you don't even need a body. Now you to exist without a body in a different plane, right? So like it's a multiverse. The universe is so vast, right? Life is not boring. Life is an adventure. There's so much we don't know. And every life we learn, we grow, right? The karma is action cycles, right? If I make the wrong decision in this life, I'm going to either become more attached in the next life, have to come and learn how to let go of this attachment, or I can, acquire wisdom, learn to be non-attached, go for everything I want in life, achieve everything I want in life, and in the end, not be attached to any of it. I want to make all the money in the world, have my legacy to prove to myself I can do it, and then in the end, not need it, because that is alignment, true alignment, because you're ready. You've accepted death. Because in the end, you're going to let it all go, right? So enjoy all of it and be remembered in history. That's why the Troy, Achilles, going back to fear, right? It's like, this man is the biggest man. And you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's fucking watch that scene. I love that scene, bro. It's so powerful. It's the Troy, remember your name scene. One of my favorites. Your name. Oh, it's so powerful. I love this. Where was it? I think it's here. It is. Okay, it's the kid thing.
Are the stories about you true? They say your mother is an immortal goddess. They say you can't be killed.
I wouldn't be bothering with the shield then, would I?
The Thessalonian you're fighting. He's the biggest man I've ever seen.
Biggest man.
I wouldn't want to fight him.
That's why no one will remember your name.
I mean, he says it to a kid here, but that's a very strong lesson or whatever in the storyline he gives to the kid, right? That is why, if you're afraid, that is why no one will ever remember your name. All the people that have came and went, right? I'm sure you've heard this saying, one of the wealthiest places is the graveyard of all the dreams that never come true. You know what I mean? Have you heard that quote?
Yes.
Something along those lines, right? So don't let your dreams just be dreams. Fucking seize it. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Seize all that you can be, right? Awaken your evolutionary instinct and go for it. Fuck being average. Fuck being mediocre, right? Don't apologize. Go for all that you're here to fucking accomplish. Go for all that you're here to experience in your form, right? In the identity that you live, and love that character, because that is your creation. No one else's. Create the best fucking character for yourself and love the experience, because life is an adventure. And, at the end of it, I'm grateful for everyone in my life, and the energy of gratitude is only going to bring you more. So, go for it. Go for all that you can be. And that's my little spiel there. Evolution is the only constant, brother. That's how I see it.
That just brings me back to like what I told you earlier. It's like, dude, like I want to explain it even more, like finding the forever in the inedible ending. And by that I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that relationship that you're with, it's gonna end. Whether, it's
Exactly.
like from death or whatever, something happens, it's gonna end. But you know what?
Exactly.
Forever, those experiences, those lessons that you learn throughout it, those, and because, and sometimes, I think about it like, because it ends, it's beautiful. Because it's gonna end, it's beautiful. Because maybe you had that ex-girlfriend that you're really sad about, but you know what? You had those beautiful experiences with her, and no one can take that away from you, from your soul, from the person that you're gonna become. That's gonna play a role into that person that you're growing and building yourself into. Finding forever in that, in those moments, right, in the journey right now. That's the forever. The experience is the forever. You know what I'm saying? Like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to enjoy that. It's not like like the destination, like getting those things. No, it's like the forever, because it's gonna end. No matter what, anything's gonna end. Your money's not gonna end up.
It's the experiences you had. You want to die a life of like all this material shit, no experience, or do you want to die, having all these experiences that made you who you are, that taught you all these lessons, right? I want both. I want a lot of material possessions, and I want a lot of experiences, right? And at the same time, be non-attached. Okay. That's the end goal that I see. And the end goal is to be non-attached. I'm going to get it all. Meaning, see, like there's the extreme. There's the people that say fuck off. Are like, oh, fuck all the material stuff. They go in the mountains. And there's the people that are all about the material and they don't know the spiritual. And they're limited. Both sides are limited. So why not walk the middle way? Exactly. The middle way, right? You're spiritual, you're connected to higher consciousness, and you're deeply motivated and going after all your material goals and the successes, right? Like if I truly committed 40 years to learning how to meditate, like in that particular technique, to levitate off the ground for 2, 3 feet, big fucking deal. Oh, I can levitate. Great. I'll link the video to the monk levitating in the description of this video for you guys that want to check it out if you're interested, right? But yeah, I could do that if I put all my attention and fucking time learning how to do it, right? But I don't find anything interesting in that. I want instead to put that same energy into growing a multi-million-dollar empire, into growing a massive movement that changes lives, into doing these great accomplishments. Like a little fucking like levitating off the ground isn't that big of a deal. But world impact, people's lives being changed, me dying, and people saying, "Hey, Aidin was a good dude. Aidin helped me get better. I'm a better person because of him." That's what's gonna make me happy when I die, right? So I'm gonna go for those things. That's how I view it, right?
Man, I'm like speechless right now. I'm like, you're spitting so much like golden nuggets and everything. I'm just like, even
Appreciate
now,
it, brother.
and brother, I'm just like, feels so good right now. I'm like,
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
don't see
We're
those
raising
conversations.
vibrations,
Bro,
you know?
now I feel great. I'm just like, man,
I
this is
love it,
it's
man.
awesome. Like even like having this kind of conversations, even if I know this, like it's good to like always like remind yourself of these things. It's just like damn,
Absolutely.
dude, I can do it. Like literally anything, but you gotta focus, right? Like get things done and moving and do things that
Mhm.
move them. And I know there's so many distractions nowadays and things that cloud your mind. That's why having people, the right people in your life, like me and Aidin, that's why if you're
100%.
watching, great, like and there's ways for you to reach out to us if you need more help or you want to surround yourself with more like-minded people because it's gonna have
Absolutely.
a huge impact on your fears and how you move because like having people like that like me and Aidin like we're like lights to each other, you know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
sometimes we might fall into a little bit dark spots or whatever, but we help each other illuminate path of like, look, there is a path there, right? Like
That's what a brotherhood is. You
you
raise
crush,
each other up.
right? You go
Exactly.
crush it. And I see that things are possible again. I'm like, whoa, right? Because it happens. We're all human. Sometimes we get a little down or whatever, or clouded, or we lost vision. But we all have that light, and we can help each other, guide each other to a greater destination.
Mhm.
Enjoy the journey together and grow truly, and become this stronger light that just kind of like what I like to think is like when you become a really great like soccer player, like, like COVID, like he might be dead, but he left a light, what I'm saying, in this
Who did?
world. Kobe.
Oh, Kobe. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
like
yes.
he might have died, but no, within
Definitely.
seconds, he left a light, he left
He
that
left his
forever light.
legacy.
You guys
Yeah.
gonna inspire a lot of people to play basketball, to go crush it. Or,
100%.
maybe there's someone in your life who's doing that for you. You know what I'm saying? But you're
100%.
like, oh my God, that's possible. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Be the change you want to see in the world, right? The best way to inspire others is be that change. You light your own candle, you light your own flame. One flame is lit, that candle is going to go light many others. Then your fire is going to light up many others. You're going to inspire others to wake up and to also burn,
become a
right?
leader and people will respect you and will love you because no one wants to have all these fears. And also when you are able to go out and just be that guy who it's able to fight these fears and just choose to be like the evolved version of you, like choose to just be in the present moment and go for what you want, people are going to respect the fuck out of you. People are going to love you because like, oh, he just goes for what he wants. And a lot of people are
100%.
able to do that, and you become like, you generally become a light to them. And
100%.
right, and they love that, they love you, and that's how you get really good friendships and relationships, right? But you got to be someone who's able to do that, and you'll be
Yeah.
able to attract a lot in your life by just doing that. You know what I'm saying? Just think about
100%.
it. It's like I felt it myself when like you're out in the bars with your friend and you see that attractive, you're like, oh, you pussy out, but then your friend go talks to her and like and then end up going well. You're like,
Inspires you to do it,
yeah, and then you're like,
Those
wow.
are the friends you want to
Yeah,
have, the
yeah.
friends
And
that
then
are
you're like,
taking
wait, why
action.
did I do that? What? That could have been me.
Yeah. Like our boys here in Toronto, right? Like me, Justin, like our close brothers, the guys that we started 10 years ago on these streets running cold approach pickup, right? Cold approach pickup taught us persuasion, taught us charisma, taught us social dynamics. That got me into sales. And I got into B2B sales and I went in and I crushed in my career, right? So it all started with cold approach and all of us, right? The reason why we got so good was because me, Matt, Justin, our close, like we called it the original wolf pack, right? Like all of a sudden we're talking and it's like, hey, where did Matt go? Oh shit, he's talking to the hottest girl there. Me just all of a sudden talking, and all of a sudden he's talking to another hot girl. What I'm saying is opportunities are seen, they're seized, right? We might be talking and walking, right? One of us, we both feel it. He's like, "Are you gonna do it or am I gonna do it?" All right, I'm gonna do it. Or you might bitch out and he does it before. He's like, "Ah, fuck,
Right?
okay, next one I'm gonna do it," right? And having friends like that inspire you to be greater, that's how you become good. So really pay attention to the people around you, right?
Because of my
Come to
poison,
Toronto.
bring it to the village.
Yeah, exactly. The poison to bring back to the village. Exactly. So fucking you can bring poison or you can bring fucking blessings, right? So the only way to inspire others is to be that inspiration. This is one of the teachings I got from my mentor, AZD, from way back when, was, you know, to change humanity, you have to change yourself. You are humanity. You're a human as a part of humanity. So change yourself and you inspire change in others, and that's how collective change happens. Because everybody's like, oh, we should change the world, but nobody changes themselves. But if everybody began changing themselves on an individual level, then collective change happens. Change towards becoming better, change towards evolving, becoming more healthy, becoming more wiser, more aware, right? So, with all that said, brother, any final concluding thoughts before we wrap it up here? It's been a killer episode.
I know
A
you
lot of shit
spend a
we
lot
touched
of gems, bro. Even I need to like lay down my beds here at the ceiling a little bit, like
on.
like digest all this good information. Um, and for anyone listening, like yeah, like like really, after this or right now, start thinking about your fears and why is it that you have them? Where did these fears come from? And how
Yeah,
can you position yourself in a way where you can, kind of like get rid of these fears. Like they're not you. Understand that these fears and this voice in your head that's telling you, no, don't do this, you suck, all of this, or whatever nonsense that you've created, like it's not you. It's literally not you.
exactly.
Okay. You are a free spirit and soul that can grow and and it's fun and enjoy it. Don't take shit so serious. You know what I'm saying? I think fear comes to like you're taking shit too serious, like approaching that girl, you're like, I'm gonna die. Like, no,
Why pay so much attention to that thought, right? That thought of fear. Don't pay so much attention because if you keep wherever attention goes, energy flows. So if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling anxious, right? Pay attention to your thoughts because it's just a thought that's on repeat in your mind. You're not the thought. You're the observer behind thought. That's why meditation is so powerful because it brings you that awareness. You're the awareness behind these thoughts that are going on. So choose which thought you want and fucking let go of the bullshit thoughts that are not serving you. So every man's gonna feel approaching anxiety when it comes to approaching a beautiful woman. How do you overcome it? You act before you can think.
yeah,
But if you keep thinking about it, remember, it can either be in an excuse making momentum or an action taking momentum, right? So
go take
what are you
action.
what are you doing, right? Take
Right?
action.
Fuck it. Next time you have that fear, be like, fuck it, we ball and do it anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's how you become great, right? Fucking go to the gym. Nobody ever regretted going to the gym. Make the approach. You're not gonna regret making the approach, bro. Worst case, you learned how to be better. That's a win right there. Okay. So fucking congratulations. You took action, right? Learn to spike dopamine from effort itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Learn
And
to spike dopamine from effort itself. I remember
yes.
hearing that somewhere. That's how it says, you know,
Um,
action will bring you the dopamine you need, not fucking drugs, not fucking alcohol, not
doing
nothing
the
for
action,
nonsense.
like, it feels good just doing it. Like,
Spiking dopamine from action itself.
you just
That's how
approach
we
the fear,
evolve.
you're just the man. You're like, oh, I'm doing this. You don't
Exactly.
care if she's like, oh, I'm doing it just because I'm the man.
Exactly. All the feel good emotions are in us, guys. All the fucking, feelings of euphoria, bliss, all these things are in us, right? And the best pharmacy is yourself. So as you start doing things naturally from a healthy place, going to the gym, eating healthy, getting enough sleep, meditating, making approaches, fucking conquering your fears, approaching and attacking your fears, right? One of the biggest ways that I attack my fears every single day, Felipe, every morning cold shower. I do 30 seconds cold, ice cold, 30 seconds hot. You think I like doing it every morning? I
No.
fucking hate it. But I push myself because A, there's all kinds of numerous positive
I
benefits
think
to
it's
health,
important though to like when you do the
but
cold
it's
shower, like take
overcoming the
out. You
mind.
know what I'm
It,
saying?
what's that?
I feel like it's important. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I
No,
think
it's
it's important to when you're doing that cold shower to like learn how to relax into it, like not to
100%.
like just like fight it off because like that's just like
Breathe.
like be able to just like literally just like it's okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh man, and sometimes after a good workout, I realized after like a really intense workout, the
Feel
cold water
good. Oh
actually
my
feels
God.
good, man. I was like, it's almost like
So
ice, like icing down the soreness, you know? It's a really good
yes.
feeling. But, in the mornings, either way, I look at it as like a mental exercise of going and approaching my fears. Nobody likes the cold water. Your body's trying to get out, right? But as you calm your mind, as you calm your body, you calm your mind, there's almost like a moment of stillness that's had there in the cold shower. It's a daily process, right? You don't need to fucking take the whole 3 minute shower. I do 30 seconds. I count 1,000, 1,000, 30 seconds, right? Then I go back to warm. Then I go cold, and I always finish with cold. Okay, because then I'm ready to go fucking charge the day. Because dopamine raises. Like Tony Robbins does like a cold water plunge before each show. If you watch the documentary, he's doing this massive performance. He needs to have high energy levels at 65. All this energy. How does he do it? He's tapped into he's tapped into like his biology, right? He's hacked into it. Knows how to maximize it. Cold shower is one of those secrets, right? It really like a couple. Like you guys can search this up on Google. Like again, don't quote me exactly on this, but it was something along the lines of like taking a cold shower. The effects of taking a cold shower 2 hours later, the same dopamine comes as if you did like a line of coke, basically, because it's like your body feels good, you're healthy, your blood vessels open up, right? You feel awake, right? And you conquered your fears too. You see what I mean? You didn't want to do it, you did it. Congratulations. You did fucking, and again, it's a daily effort. The same way every time you see a girl, it's not even a fucking thought of approaching. You just approach it, you just do it, right? Hey, how's your day going? You know what I mean? Hey, I noticed you're on this floor, right? Right? There's a million different ways they can start a conversation, and it's super casual, super normal. Anybody from the outside watches you interact with a woman, it looks like you guys know each other. That's when you know you're running your game right.
Yeah, I like that you said
You
that. Yeah,
just met her, but on the outside, it looks like you guys know each other.
that's what
And
I'm
that's the
saying.
guy that
You
has
bring
good
that right
game.
energy. The outside just looks like you're a baller. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, oh wow.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, the familiarity, like you approach the girl as if you already know her because you're so warm, friendly, inviting, right? You're charismatic, you're smiling, right? Nobody wants to approach someone who's mean mugging. One of the biggest things I had to learn is to smile, right? You smile, it's
yeah.
deadly, bro. It's very, very deadly. It draws people in. In sales, it is. In game, it is. In persuasion, it is. So master your
Yeah,
smile,
but
guys.
naturally, like you don't want to be mean to someone who's smiling. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
something weird, something about you. You're like someone smiles, like you're like I've had it where like way back in like of high school, like I've noticed this. Like there's always like that one person that maybe someone talks shit about. It's like yeah, we shouldn't like that person, and you kind of fall into it. And you're like yeah, I shouldn't like that person. And then later on, you talk to that person, but they're like hey, what's up, bro? They just bring good energy and like it's smiley. And you're like wait, I shouldn't like you, but you're so likable,
yeah,
right?
exactly, exactly. Your energy draws people in. 100%, man.
Powerful.
Absolutely.
I
Awesome,
think that's
guys.
to wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up here. Episode 7 of the Evolutionary Instinct Podcast, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you made it all the way to the end, hope you took a lot of value from today's call, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.
Peace.